In this video, we're going to talk about what is happening with mobile home prices around the country and what you need to know to protect yourself as an active mobile home buyer, mobile home seller, if you're selling a mobile home right now, or if you're an active mobile home investor. And for my investors, stick around to the end. We're going to talk about how to safely protect your business. Now, if I had to ask you to draw the mobile home pricing graph from like the last 10 years, you might put something down. You may not be completely like keen on what the market is doing, but you probably say like from 2015 to 2020, prices are kind of hovering somewhere. And then all of a sudden when COVID happens, well, then most of us know that prices kind of rocketed up for so long. And then after about when interest rates hit about 2023-ish, the market kind of flattened off. And now around 2025, things are starting to come down some. And you can feel that out there. And let's go ahead and match that up with what actually happened. Mobile home prices, these are single wides spanning back the last decade or so. And you can see through COVID, prices rocketed up. Before COVID, they started at around 50,000, was a single wide new mobile home from the factory. And then over COVID, prices rocketed up to about $90,000 for that same single wide. And that was during a time when interest rates were low and the stimulus money was being printed, but jobs were kind of uneasy and we weren't sure what was happening, but still prices were just rocketing up. And there was such a FOMO. I remember thinking and investing and visiting a lot of people's houses that were nice, but they wanted to get rid of them. They wanted to buy a brand new home because it was just such like everyone was buying a house and interest rates were low and we got to get in now. Oh my God, if we don't get in now. And prices again were going up. So at the beginning you were paying, 50,000 for a new single wide and then 60 and 70 and 80. And I mean, at the beginning of COVID, if you would have thought, oh, would I pay 80,000 for this home? Of course not. Why would I? And then as prices go up and they get to 90, it's like, oh, I wish I could pay 80,000 for that home. I think we have such a short, tunnel vision as consumers sometimes. And as prices rocket up because of there were supply chain issues and of course, big companies aren't going to, absorb that cost as lumber goes up and steel goes up. They're going to pass that on to the consumer. And you can see in the double wide chart, prices started at around $90,000 prior to the pandemic. And then after the pandemic, rocketed up to like $150,000, $160,000. And this is for a group of folks, mind you. This is affordable housing where folks don't have a lot of discretionary income to be spending. So if you're spending an extra, 50 grand on a mobile home, you better be staying there for some amount of time. If you're looking to sell very soon, you are going to lose money. It's like a stock that's going up and you buy it for one price and then it goes down. Well, nobody's going to want to buy that stock from you for that price because they can get it at a much lower price somewhere else. And so that's a little bit about what we're seeing. And now we are on that opposite side. On the previous graph, it only went to 2024, but in 2025, we are seeing a decline. Around the country, prices are dropping for used mobile homes, mind you. This is like a resale. Most of us are reselling a used mobile home. And prices from about 6 months ago, the latter part of 2024, prices have been coming down some. And then even into 2025 now, it's sort of rapidly more coming down. We can still make profit, but prices are coming down 10, 20, 25% even from their highs. And we're going to talk about how to protect yourself, how to still sell quickly, how to buy right. That's what this video is for. Let's talk about how these graphs actually affect, the real world. Okay, so why are prices coming down some? And this is a temporary issue. I mean, prices change all the time, and we want to know what is going on. As buyers and sellers, we don't want to have our head in the sand, just being oblivious to all this. That's how we lose money. That's how we fool ourselves, and we're the easiest ones to fool if we're not educated. So you can see here, it is still a great time to sell for all cash. From 2002 to 2014, selling mobile homes was difficult to sell and get cash. You could sell on payments all the time and you could sell for cash, but you weren't going to get that much money. And bank financing was very tough. We'll talk about that more in this video, but it's still a great time to sell for all cash. And I really want to hit home on that because this is not a doom and gloom type video. As investors, we adapt and we continue to help people and profit. And as a buyer and a mobile home seller, you should be educated as well. And you should know, what you're getting into, or the path in front of you, whether you're a buyer or a seller. Buyers are holding on to their cash. That's what's bringing prices down. You don't have this frenzy of people just throwing money because they want to hold on to that money. They're not sure what's going to happen. The market, the world, uncertainties, the dollar potentially going down, wars happening. Well, there's probably always wars going on, but major wars, I guess, more involving the US. And then just huge uncertainties, job weaknesses. Then again, we had job weakness during COVID, and that rocketed up prices. Then again, interest rates are much higher than they were in COVID, and the tariffs increased the prices on new mobile homes. Just last week, I talked to a mobile home dealership that told me prices are going up 10% in 2 weeks. If I wanted to buy a mobile home now, I could lock in the prices. Maybe that was a sales technique, but prices, supposedly, talking to manufactured home dealers, because of the steel imports, prices are going up for new mobile homes 10%. Now, that might mean that mobile homes that have to be moved, if you're selling a mobile home that has to be moved, your home might be a little more high in value, because if someone can buy it cheaper from you on the resale market and move it versus buying it from a factory at 10%, 20% higher, they would probably want to go with you to save money. So potentially this tariff might help like mobile homes that have to be moved, and those prices might jump up a little bit, but that's not a guarantee or anything like that. Now, let's talk facts. Prices do not ever stay the same for long, and a home is worth what somebody will pay for it. The condition, the age, the size, the location. If you're selling it with cash, that's one price. If you're selling it with payments, well, guess what? You can sell it for a higher price. The home is worth what somebody will pay for it at that moment in time. Obviously, not blowing your mind by saying that, but something to be aware of for the rest of this video. Now, this is going to be advice moving forward for buyers, for mobile home sellers, and for investors. Let's first talk mobile home buyers. You are a buyer coming into the market. Congratulations, you're looking for a mobile home to buy. I want to tell you that it is temporarily a buyer's, or becoming a buyer's market. So you as the buyer have more clout and more say versus a couple years ago when it was a seller's market and the sellers were dictating everything. Well, now it's the buyer's turn to dictate some things. And try to pay below the seller's asking price. I think we always try to do that, whether the market's going up or down, but have a little more confidence that there will be more properties. So if you don't get this one, there'll be others, and there'll be more coming into the market, and prices are coming down. And again, try to get the home below the asking price. Ideally, keep the home for a few years. We're not sure what's going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball, but keep the home for a few years, ideally. Ideally if you can, or maybe rent if you're not exactly sure, like for the next year, possibly. Lot rent is creeping up. That's just a given. That's been for the past, since parks were created. Lot rents are creeping up, some quicker than others, depending on the park that you decide to be in, if you're going to be in a mobile home in a park. And then make sure that you love the location and the neighbors. Pretty simple, but just wanted to tell you that don't be forced to buy something or rush in to buy something, and know the neighbors. Knock on the door, talk to them. Make sure you love the location. Now, sellers, I really want to help you out here because I don't want you to be delusional. And I don't know you personally, but we as human beings can be the easiest people to fool, to think like, the market's going, I'm going to sell my home for what I paid for. I paid this much for the property. Therefore, someone else is going to see the value as well, and they're going to buy it. But if you have to sell in 3 months or 4 months, that deadline is getting closer and closer to you, and the market might not be, rocketing up back to where you bought. If you bought at the peak of the market, if you bought in the last, couple years, and you are now trying to sell, you have to swallow that pill that, okay, I may have to lose money, unless you want to like add an extra room to the home, or you want to sell on payments, or you want to create more value in it artificially somehow. But most sellers don't want to do that. They just want to sell and get their money out. But so first things first, don't fool yourself. Prices temporarily are coming down. Advertise like crazy online and offline. The more people that see your property, the better. And then prices cure most people's worries. Your home needs repairs. The manager's terrible. It's got to be moved. It's in a bad location. Title issues. Well, or the market's going down. Price cures most people's worries. It's kind of easier said than done, but lowering your price, if you're selling, will get more buyers interested. There is a price that you can lower to where you will have it sold tomorrow. You might not want to hear that because that price might be lower than you paid, obviously, and that's can hurt. But anyway, but that's reality, and that's what I'm here to tell you. You can sell for payments, like I've mentioned a few times. If you're like a not an investor, not a professional, real estate person, get educated on this because the paperwork's important, the vetting process is important, who you put in your home is important, the management is important. You can rent the home or rent a room. Maybe you don't have to move. You can wait to see what happens with the market. Rent a room or rent the home out maybe, or just keep the property. If you don't have to sell it, don't sell it. All right, now for my people, investors. Let me first say that as investors, we adapt, or we just go back to working at McDonald's or something. I mean, we're not going to do that. We're going to invest, or we're going to adapt or die. And that's what we've been doing for the past 23 years since I've been investing. As laws change, as rules change, as the market changes, we adapt. And we're still dealing with affordable housing. I mean, there's so many of these properties around the country and people that need help, whether the market's going up or down. People need help. People get into hardships and people want to buy. Let's talk about some of this. So let's compare today, 2025, to 2008 and see like some similarities and some differences. So still, mobile homes are still affordable housing. I will say that is both. I think that you would probably agree with me. Now, it was way more affordable, $50,000 more affordable 10 years ago, but it is still, mobile homes are affordable housing. People still need a roof over their heads. Yeah, that's both as well. People will buy with payments if affordable. That is a big both. People have always wanted to buy with payments. The last 10 years, and including today, we can sell for cash way easier than we could when I first got into the business. But again, prices are coming down. So you have to buy right in order to still double our money or better. And so people will buy when payments are affordable. Yep. Bank lending is difficult. In pre-2015, so pre-2015, bank lending was difficult. But today it is easy. I mean, interest rates are higher, but bank lending on manufactured homes, there's way more loan products now. Even for an older 1976 mobile home, you can get financing on that, like a buyer with a 550 credit score, when you sell it to your end buyer. So anyway, bank financing is good right now. It was difficult before. Way more people than mobile homes. Yeah, there's more people than mobile homes. So kind of its supply is greater than the demand. Or the demand is greater than the supply, that one. And then way more cash buyers in the market, or way more cash in buyers' hands. Well, that's now for sure. That is absolutely now. People have way more cash in their hands. So it's just as a bigger picture, it's still a good time to sell for cash. And when the market's going down, we sell and we profit. And when the market's going up, we help people and we sell and profit. Still talking to investors right now, buy your properties, buy every mobile home that you invest in with your end buyer in mind, the person that you haven't even met yet. I know you're talking to the seller and you want to make the seller happy, and that's true. We want to do win-win deals, but you have to buy the property with your end buyer in mind and not be delusional that, okay, I made the seller happy. Now, I bought the home. Now I just have to figure out how to sell it. Like, that's a terrible way to go. Like, let me just figure out how to sell it. Like, no, even before you buy the home, before you make offers, you have to know what you can really sell the home for cash or for payments. What kind of area is it? Is it an area where people are broke and they won't be able to pay cash? Or is it more of an area where, yeah, it's like a well-to-do, things are selling for a lot of money? Know the recent comparable sales of what's sold nearby when possible, and then what is currently selling as well. Buy for less to stay profitable. I mean, obviously, but as the market's going down, we want to buy for less. But as the market's rocketing up, like during COVID and even the last year or so, month after month, it was, from 2002 to like 2020, the market changed and a bunch of stuff changed. But from 2020 to 22, like during the COVID time, there was for like a period of like 14, 15 months, Every month we were raising our prices for the same like 1990s 3-bedroom 2-bath. We could sell it for 5 grand more, every 30 days, give or take, like 4 grand, 5 grand, 6 grand. But it was just bizarre. It was very, very interesting. And now on the other side, as prices are coming down, we have to be more conservative with our offers. So when you hear no's, which you will hear a lot of no's, and then I want you to hear no's as a mobile home investor, well, some of those no's are just temporary no's. Sellers think they can sell for more. They're laughing at us. I would never sell for that amount of money. I know I can get double that. And lo and behold, they may call you back after a couple of weeks because they can't get what they thought that they could get. And we don't have to buy as investors. We want to, but we don't have to. Sellers have to sell. We don't have to buy. So, we should be making way more offers than actually get accepted, because we want to do sort of the best of the best deals. If you're selling for cash, you want to double your money or better. If you're buying and selling, if you're wholesaling, you want to make at least 5,000 to 7,000 net. If you're selling on payments, you want to do way better than that. Remember, investors, we can't make offers if we're not having people find us, or if we're not finding sellers. So keep that marketing machine and that advertising machine running on high speed. Online, offline, people should be finding you, and you should be finding sellers. Because again, we can't make offers and we can't buy homes and we can't help people. No one will know about us if we slow down on that advertising machine. So even though prices are coming down, that doesn't mean to pull back on your business, in my opinion. If anything, continue forward just as much. Double down. We're here to help people. We want people to know that we exist. Right now, as a mobile home investor, more payment offers when you buy a mobile home. We're getting, as a group of folks that I work with and investors around the country, we are getting more payment offers accepted. And why would someone sell on payments? Well, it's to move on with their life. They trust us. We're using the right paperwork. They're getting the money that they want. They just have to wait for a little bit of time. Sometimes these payments to sellers are like a balloon. After 9 months, they get all their money. The seller gets all their money. Or sometimes we're holding payments for 5 years. We're giving a seller for their home with land or their mobile home in a park that's nice. We're giving them payments for 5 years. And then on the flip side of that, let's go down here actually. We can always sell. Right here, we're talking about buying on payments. Well, we can sell on payments like we always could. So if 2008 or 9 happens again, that's wonderful. I mean, I think it'll be a thinning of, I think a lot of the wiener investors will get out of real estate in general, because that's what happened back in 08. You had like a standing room at the real estate clubs. And then once 08, 09 hit, nobody was there. The room was like, it was 10% of the people. And so you might have like a lot of investors that just get out because the market's crashed and there's no way to make money. So you can always sell on payments, but you have to buy right when you do sell on payments, because if you pay all cash or you pay too much, well, payments, you're not getting your money back till 6 or 12 months. So I don't want you to have to sit on your hands waiting for your money to be recouped. So make sure you buy right so you can sell it realistically. And then this one right here, more consignments, more wholesaling, if you're familiar with wholesaling, as prices soften. That lets you help more sellers. That lets you still be keen on what's happening in the market, and we don't have to risk our money. So I hope that all made sense. At the last slide, yep. We'll leave it. I hope that made sense. If you have any questions, obviously comment them below. If you're seeing something different in your area, please let me know. If you have any specific questions, again, let me know if I can help. I'm happy to. John at mobilehomeinvesting.net. Again, John at mobilehomeinvesting.net. Thanks so much for watching. So you stayed tuned to the end. Please hit that like and subscribe button. That'd be awesome. And I'll talk to you later.